Right, so this is IK Plus, otherwise known as International Karate Plus, on the Commodore C64. Again, it's a game that I had played on the Spectrum 1 to 8K. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Had lovely music, pretty good sound effects, like a slap effect on the Spectrum version. And it had the rippling sun on the water there, but it lacked everything else. You know, on this version there's worms crawling about, there's birds, just more reflection on the water, all little details, and of course the sound on this version is absolutely superb. You've got the great soundtrack by Rob Hubbard, plus you've got a few samples in there, you know, the punching, the falling sound effects. It's all great. So let's give this a try because it's just on the menu at the moment. There we go. So yeah, it's a sequel to International Karate, which again was a good game. The Spectrum version was a bit rubbish actually, but the Commodore 64 version was really good. You know, it's a classic. But Archer McLean come back with this game, added the third player, and yeah, it was just added a whole new element to it. I'm getting caned here. Interestingly, on the Retro Asylum podcast recently, Andy said that he prefers Way of the Exploding Fist. I disagree. Myself, I think this is the better game. It's a bit more frantic, I guess, which might be why Andy doesn't enjoy this as much, but I think this is a lot more playable. I really do. Just a flashy game as well. But yeah, listen to that music and the sound effects. Great little package. I also enjoyed the Amiga version. I know Steve Bingway mentioned that recently, funnily enough. Actually, it might have not been recent. There's an old video I was watching of Steve's, and he said, you know, it didn't really take advantage of the Amiga hardware, which he's right. You know, it didn't really. It was a port of this game, the Commodore 64 version. But I did enjoy the music on that version as well. The game's also out on the Amstrad and probably a few other systems. The Amstrad version ain't bad. Again, you know, the music, blimey, completely done there. The music's present, and it's got the same sound effects as the Spectrum version, the 1 to 8K Spectrum version. I've never played it on a 48K machine. I'm guessing, well, I know for a fact the music won't be there. It might have some sound effects from the beeper. But yeah, this to me is probably the ultimate version, and I'm really getting slapped about here. I'm in trouble and I'm out of the game. Right, let's have another quick go. There is a version available on the PlayStation as well, and the Game Boy Advance. I think, if I remember rightly, Jim Bagley of used to be part of the special effects software, and he's also working on Double Dragon on the ZX Spectrum with me. Actually, he coded those, so they're worth checking out as well if you haven't got access to an old computer and you've got a PlayStation 3, I guess that'd play PlayStation 1 game. Alright, let's see how well I can do here. Gotcha. So yeah, there's you know, for a game that is played with a one-button joystick, there is plenty of moves on here. There's a headbutt. I've missed him completely with that and ended up on the floor. You've got that double kick that guy's just done, I'm doing now. Backflip, foot sweep, ankle kick. Half the time you end up on the floor. This is going to be game over again if I'm not careful. Oh, that's pretty good. Time out. So yeah, you got these on the Amiga. There was Also a bonus round where you're kicking bombs. I'm not too sure if that's included on the Commodore 64. From what I've played of it, it isn't. It just have this round, which gets really hard. I've done terrible first time, as you saw, but see how far I can get. No, I should have been bending down for that one, which sounds a bit wrong in itself. Right. But yeah, all the detail in the background there, you see jumping fish, spiders come down on the wooden thing back there, whatever you call it. I'm doing terrible. But it's just such a classic game. If you've never played it, I do highly recommend you give it a try. It is a proper classic. It really does get the adrenaline going if you're not talking and playing. It's such a great soundtrack as well. Ouch. Yeah, so for those who don't know, I'm actually a regular on Retro Asylum, the podcast. Although I've not been on there for a few weeks, I've been busy with life and work. Home life's been very busy because I've got an 8-month-old son and a 7-year-old daughter. So you know, I can't be playing games as much as I'd like. That bonus round still gets me. But yeah, if you're into anything retro, we cover all formats. You know, there's not a system we don't want to discuss. As long as it's retro, then it will be covered on Retro Asylum. So that's retroasylum.com, or you can go onto iTunes and just search for Retro Asylum. And we are the UK's #1 retro podcast. Right, so this has been IK Plus on the Commodore 64. I'm Dean Swain. Hopefully I'll have more videos coming up soon, but if you like the sound of me nattering on, then be sure to check out the Retro Asylum podcast show. Cheers guys. Back to the UK's #1 retro podcast.